We have a huge winter storm coming with apparently heavy snow, which is very rare for our area, given that we're so close to the coast in Texas. Look at that white heron, beautiful. And all of the birds and all of the animals have just been preparing, because of course they have that internal knowing that we must fatten up, we must hunker down, a big storm is coming. Without the need for technology, without the need for any kind of external device. They are so connected to the vibration of the elements, of the field and all that is. They know it, they see it, and they feel it. And so it had me thinking, as I've watched the geese circle our RV for hours, and saw a great blue heron, which was the first time I've seen one here. I've seen a green heron, and of course the white one. The white one often comes as a reflection of a connection that I have. And today there was a big blue heron, and it was so massive, it had a person kind of look to it. It felt like a messenger. And of course I went to grab my camera because it's one of my favorite birds, and I was like, oh my God, And as soon as I got to the place where I could take a picture from inside, my bedroom window, it flew off. And I knew it was just for the message. The bluebirds too, they have been around preparing, eating, moving in force. One in particular, as I talked about a connection with the angels that I've been feeling strongly in these last few days, seemed to make itself more known to me than the rest of the flock, flying very close, landing right above me, coming almost right up to my window, literally looking at me. There's just a lot of interesting connections and signs and symbols of protection and connection, and maybe of particular things to come. But ultimately what I'm trying to get at, let me try to get a little more comfortable, is I'm very sensitive to the change in weather. I always have been, but after about 10 years of having autoimmune issues, it made me even more sensitive. And of course, since I've healed almost all of it with knowledge and through different methods, but I still do feel the weather change. And I had thought this before when I was first really in the throes of my autoimmunity and all the pain that I was experiencing at that time before I understood what it was and why it was. But in that moment, in those times, I thought, could the extra pain that we are feeling when the weather begins to change, when there's a cold front coming in, when there's a storm coming in, and just the differences in the pressure and the frequencies and the energies, could this really be a weather prediction system within our own being? Because even back to the days of our ancestors, the nomads, the travelers, the having to live out in the elements, surely not having any technology, they would have to know how to protect themselves, their land and their assets, and be prepared ahead of time. And so surely they had a system. The storm whisperers is what I had heard it called before when accessing this feeling within my bloodline. The ones who could let you know when it was time to hunker down, that the weather was changing, the things were moving, and it was time to prepare, stock up, and hunker down to protect you and your family, and your animals, and all of that. And so I'm reminded of that again today, as I am really feeling the intensity of this heavy snowstorm making its way, which shall be here tonight. And as I'm realizing that, it made me also further think that could one of the many ways that we had been disconnected from our own internal compass have been done so through the medical system, making us believe that if we're hurting, if we're feeling pain, if anything seems to be off that we don't understand, then go seek help, get medicine, cover up the symptoms. When in reality, it could be this very feeling we have, this very so-called pain within our very bones, that could be our own weather system, helping us to prepare ourselves, our bodies, our homes, our families for the weather to come. And when we change that perspective, it makes dealing with the discomfort, in a sense, this experience, much more easy to handle, because you realize you're simply just tapping into your intuitive faculties, your weather radar.